Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Así el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin mi naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination, and maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants here. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos Beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week you're going to meet a truly funny guy. His name is Hedda Lettuce. Hedda does a comedy drag act over at Act 2, and he's hilarious. We're gonna hear from some of our local favorite personalities as well. We're going to hear from Gabino, the pull tab purse maker guy. He's going to join us, and we're going to also hear from Nat Moraga. Nat is from Tile Park PV, from Parque de los Azulejos. We're going to drop in on her, and she's going to fill us in on what's new over at Parque de los Azulejos. But before we get to that, to those people, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 1st of November, 2019. I'm going to start off today by telling everybody that the Los Muertos Pier is back, lit up at night, running again. I told you I would. I'm so happy to hear that and to see that. So there you go. Dia de los Muertos is what it's all about this week in Puerto Vallarta. I have the times and I have the lists of all the events in the show notes. It's a really big deal. And the real big deal, of course, is the procession. It takes place at 5 p.m. Tomorrow on Dia de los Muertos. It starts over at the Pantheon in Colonia de Cinco de Diciembre, with the graveyard up there. And it ends over at the Parque de los Azulejos, over at Lazaro Cardenas Park. That's going to be the 2nd of November. On the Dia de los Muertos Day, that's tomorrow. And most of the celebrations are going to be held today and tomorrow over at the Plaza de Armas, over at the Los Arcos Amphitheater. You're going to find a lot of events happening there during the day and night. And of course, over at Lazaro Cardenas Park, you're going to see other events. So I've got a long list of all the events. They're in the show notes. And also remember that Los Muertos Brewing is having their Fiesta en la Calle tomorrow. Party in the Street, Saturday, November 2nd, from 2 in the afternoon until 11:30 in the evening. There's going to be live music all day long there. Tacos, cerveza, all kinds of great food. And speaking of ghosts and goblins and blood-sucking vampires, I got an email reminding me of something that I didn't get to. It's from listener Sheila. And Sheila writes, hi there. I listened to your October 2nd podcast, and you mentioned dengue fever. You said you would be talking about that on your next podcast. And I listened to the October 24th podcast, but there was no mention of it. The October 24th podcast was super, especially the update on damage caused by NARDA and the relief efforts. Will you be giving any updates on the dengue fever in future podcasts? Thanks very much, Sheila. All right. Well, Sheila, thank you for reminding me. So let's just get to that right now, because dengue is in the news again. This time it's being blamed on climate change. Oh, yeah. From Mexico News Daily, it says, Governor says Jalisco facing dengue epidemic blames climate change. There have been over 4,000 cases and 2 confirmed deaths in the state. Now, this was published back in September 27th, so it's a month old. But Jalisco is facing a dengue epidemic, Governor Enrique Alfaro said on Thursday, explaining that the metropolitan area of Guadalajara is the worst affected area in the state. There were 4,290 confirmed cases of the mosquito-borne tropical disease in the state of Jalisco to September 15th, and 25,000 probable cases. Only Veracruz has reported a higher number of confirmed cases. The State Secretariat of Health confirmed this week that only 2 people have died of the dengue in Jalisco this year, while 22 other deaths are actually being investigated to determine whether or not the disease was the cause. A video posted to social media, Alfaro said that dengue is not only affecting Jalisco, but most of Mexico and the greater region. He rejected the claim that his government is to blame for the high number of cases in the state this year, explaining that 116 million pesos, which is $5.9 million US dollars, has been spent on the anti-dengue measures, and such as mosquito spraying. The figure is 45 million pesos higher than the amount spent on spraying and other preventative measures in 2018. Alfaro said there is no shortage of material, pesticides, personnel, or equipment to fumigate, he said. At the start of the video, the governor took aim at opponents of his government, as well as media outlets who had claimed that they had been spreading misinformation about the dengue outbreak. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about this issue, and as always, there are those who are trying to spread fear and take a political advantage with something that is more dangerous than the disease itself. Lies, Alfaro said. The same people, as always, have tried to generate the perception that the government is responsible, that it has been negligent and hasn't acted on time. They've tried to make the public believe that it's an issue of lack of medicines, when in fact, there isn't even a vaccine against dengue, he added. We're up against a systematic attempt by our adversaries and some manipulative media to land a blow against our government. Alfaro said that climate change was to blame for the high number of dengue cases in Jalisco, pointing to higher temperatures and heavier rain this year. He also said that a new strain of dengue, stereotype 2, has reached Mexico from South and Central America, explaining that people are more susceptible to it because there is no immunity among the population. This is a serious and complex problem that hasn't been created by government actions or negligence, Alfaro said. There were more than 16,000 confirmed cases of dengue fever in 16 states during the first 8.5 months of the year, more than triple the number reported in the same period in 2018. 43 deaths have been reported across the country. It came to light earlier this month that federal health authorities didn't spend a single peso on insecticides until early August, despite a higher than usual user number of dengue cases. However, the director of National Center for the Disease Prevention and Control Programs, Dr. Rui Lopez Redaura, explained that states allocated their own funds to purchase pesticides and inserted that mosquito spraying has occurred throughout the year in all areas susceptible to dengue breakouts. On September 5th, Health Secretariat Undersecretary Hugo Lopez-Gatell accused insecticide vendors of conducting a disinformation campaign that links this year's outbreak of dengue fever to the federal government's later-than-usual purchase of the product. 2/3 of insecticides for the control of dengue are purchased by state governments, he said, explaining that federal authorities buy the product later in the year because they only assist spraying efforts when the states own capacity to combat mosquitoes has been exceeded. All right, so a lot of locals, of course, are saying, no, that's BS. There's been not a lot of spraying, they say, and the fogging trucks haven't been seen like in the last years. So they do actually blame the governor for not getting the job done. But anyway, it's still very wet. It's starting to dry out a little bit here in Vallarta. So the mosquitoes are still in full force. So make sure you wear your repellent. The local off is very effective, as you all know. And those of you who aren't adversely affected by DEET, you should be using that. And I must say that when I was in town for those 2 weeks, I only had one mosquito bite the entire time I was there. And I was all over the place, right? I was in the jungles. I was everywhere. Now, I will say that I always sprayed my legs and my feet before I left the house. So that seems to do the trick. It seemed to work for me. So protect yourselves, you guys. Use the local off. It really works. So use it. Okay. Now, November 1st is Dia de los Muertos. It always kicks off the high season right here in Puerto Vallarta, and all the events are starting to get underway. The Art Walk returns every Wednesday from 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock. You can get a map from any one of the participating galleries in downtown Puerto Vallarta. And I also have a link to that in the show notes if you want to. I've got a link to their Facebook page. And so don't forget the Art Walk. That's a lot of fun. Also, things are getting ready for year 3 over at Parque de los Azulejos, Tile Park PV, over at Lazaro Cardenas Park on the south side of Puerto Vallarta. And so I thought that it would be a really good idea to find out what's going on, and I wandered on down, and I had a talk with Nat Moraga about the progress at the park. So let's go right now to Lazaro Cardenas Park and join Nat Moraga. All right, I'm with Nat Moraga once again. How you doing?
Hola, Barry. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine, too. And we're getting ready to start year 3 at Tile Park and Parque de los Azulejos. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it is so beautiful. It is
Thank
so
you.
pretty. I could never have imagined how beautiful when we first started talking 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now.
Yes, I couldn't imagine it either. But we're getting there. I mean, we still have a lot to do, But I think we've done like 1/3 of the project. Mm-hmm. At least construction part is basically done. Mm-hmm. And now we just need to tile the whole thing up.
Yeah, so that process of smoothing the edges that we talked about 3 years ago is totally different than I really ever suspected. And is it any different than you had planned?
Yes. I mean, honestly, 2 years ago when we started this project, I had no idea how it was going to evolve. Not even how we were going to be able to execute it. It was like basically a dream, and let's see how we can make it come true. And it's been a challenge, but it's been a learning process and a very satisfying process because we're being able to execute it. And everyone's excited. I mean, probably a few people aren't, but that's okay. We need that.
Yeah, everybody needs that.
Yes. But all in all, I mean, we're very happy with what's going on and how it's looking.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're about 1/3 of the way done. And really, it looks like, what you got left to do is tiling the benches and the other flat surfaces that are still just waiting for something, right?
So we have, total, there's 66 benches. We've done 12. It sounds like very little, but honestly, it takes us like a week per bench, plus the other areas. So, I mean, we have to enjoy the process. If we don't enjoy the process, like, I wouldn't be doing this, really. Right. So, little by little, we need to be patient, just as everyone else, because suddenly we get people like, oh, you're going so slow. It's like, I only have 2 hands.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And it's very difficult to get employees here. So,
right.
But we're on it. We're on it.
Oh, you are on it. And, there's just parts of the year where you just can't do stuff, right? I mean, when it's rainy and And you don't really want to be working in that condition either, right? Because the tiles won't adhere.
Exactly. Yes. During summer, I mean, we work most of the time, but when it rains a lot, we can't put tiles up.
Okay.
Basically, we were doing construction, but now that the construction's done, we just need to put tiles. So what we do during the summer is we do private installations. That's when I have the chance to get some clients and go to their condos or do some hotels and stuff like that.
Excellent.
So it works out.
Yeah. And you don't burn out on the park. You're working on other things.
And I get to make some money for myself.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. And speaking of that, are you still taking donations for the tiles? Are you still
Yes.
doing that?
Yes, we're benches are all sold out. That was really cool. And now we're doing the tiles, the customized tiles, which are looking really nice because we're integrating them all around the areas, but also there's areas where there's just designs. So I'm taking a lot of care on that design part with the tiles and all. I don't want it to be just like a publicity park, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's more of a personal park.
Okay.
So... yes, we're taking donations. We have the tiles, and we have the workshops also.
Okay, so let's talk about those workshops again. Just remind everybody about those.
We're going to have one workshop a month, 10 people max per workshop because we have very limited space for them. And you can find out about it on either Facebook or El Parque de los Azulejos or tileparkpv.com.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. And I'll have the links, of course, to all of those in the show notes of this episode at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And, or just, Google it. Tile Park PV. It'll take you right there.
Yes.
It's really easy. And the donate button's really very, very prominent. You'll be able to see it. It's all good.
Yes.
And,
but more than just clicking on donating, come visit the park or come to a workshop. They're really fun. We have lots of fun. We put music. We all laugh. We dance. We learn. I mean, and this year it's going to be very interesting because each year has been a different theme for the workshops. The first year was, say something about Vallarta, figurative. So people were doing dolphins on the columns and whales and Katrinas and everything that represented either Vallarta or Mexico, right? And this last year, it was about abstract art. So it was go crazy without, like, putting a dolphin, right? And that kind of freaked out some people. They were like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But it turned out really cool. We did the planters. And this year, we're going to do sacred geometry and the energy of color. So there's going to be a brief introduction on that. And the whole point is to elevate the energy of the park. So in my head, each planter, if you put sacred geometry and you put an intention to it, whenever someone sits on it, they're going to have like an illumination moment, like, or something like that.
I love it. Okay.
I mean, that's in my head, but I do believe it.
I do believe it, too. You kidding me?
It's all about the intention.
I'm a believer.
Yeah, me too.
Totally. And remember, you guys, that when you do come to the park, because she says, just come to the park and enjoy the park, too. Take pictures, post them on your social media so that people know that it's here, and then they look at it and say, that's Puerto Vallarta.
Yes. Yes, it's now part of Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
Yes, it's bringing more color to what already has lots of color, but in a different way.
Right. Are you having any issues? Are you having any troubles that you've been running into?
No, the same as always. People complaining about something. I mean, come on, it wouldn't be at least Vallarta if people weren't complaining about something.
Yeah, well, I can't see where they could complain about this. This is wonderful.
It's funny, but yeah, there's some people that do. But as I said, it's part of everything. It can't just be like pink and all beautiful, right? There has to be something to balance it all out.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Okay. What else is happening? I noticed that you're coming to the States for a talk.
Yes, I was invited to Baltimore, Maryland, to give a little master talk for the IDA, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be there October 29th giving a little talk. I'm very excited, a little nervous, and I've been looking at all the videos on how to give a little speech, and it just confuses me more, honestly.
Talking is very natural for you. Come on, Natasha.
Yeah, not in front of 900 people.
Yeah, that is a little different.
But it's exciting, honestly. I'm very excited. I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
So they're going to give you, or you will be introducing Tile Park to them, or
yeah, basically how I started my work, a little bit of my life, and how I got to where I am right now, doing the project of one of my dreams project, which is for me very important, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I do believe dreams come true, as I stated in my first wall.
Absolutely. When does the season start here?
It's considered from November through April, but I think it kicks off like mid-November, Thanksgiving.
Okay, and that's when you're going to be having your first workshops?
The first workshop, I believe it's the 19th, November 19th. I'm not sure, but the webpage has all the dates.
Okay.
But we're here working.
Right.
And our season kicks in whenever the market season kicks in, so it's basically November 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here working. So if you want to come and say hi,
yeah,
please do.
Stop by.
Yes.
Absolutely. Take those pictures. Post them. All right. So are you going to have any fundraisers? Do you have any fundraisers planned around town?
We have it in mind to do a fundraiser. We haven't really planned it.
Okay.
I have people that are working on that. I really focus more on the design and the park. My head really doesn't know what to do with those things.
All right. Well, yeah, you have people that are going to take care of that.
Well, yeah, there's people that are helping me organize it. Okay. We don't really have a date or anything, but I'll make sure to, once we do, to put it out there.
Okay.
I really don't like the idea of doing fundraisers. Mm-hmm. I really just want people to come enjoy the park, and if they feel like participating, just give a donation or something.
Okay, I like that.
One day we'll have enough money to just build a whole bunch of parks without having to ask people for money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Show me that magic money tree.
Oh, I'll show you one day, Barry. We'll be talking here and say, hey, Barry.
Hey, Barry, check this out.
Check this out.
In my garden, I have this magic money tree.
Yes.
Is there anything else new in town that you want to talk about, or anything else new with you that you want to share with the audience? I'm going to change that. Share with my listeners?
Share with your listeners. Well, no, basically, please come to the park every year. There's more and more, and it's getting very fun. I have a new crew now, so you can come and meet the crew. They're all very nice. We'll all be smiling. The workshops this year are going to be super fun, so if you're interested, please join us, or at least just come and stop by and see what we're doing. Yeah. I'm hoping to really be able to finish at least 50-70% of the park this season. I need to get going.
Yeah,
I have other projects I need to do.
Yeah, right. You can't be here for 10 years.
Exactly. I'm going to get old.
This can't be the Winchester Mystery House over here.
Yes,
It's got to stop sometime.
No,
wow.
Exactly.
Well, what you've done here, and what everybody that has put all their hard work and sweat and tears into this place is just, it's incredible what you've done here so far.
And check out all the tiles. They're very interesting. Each customized tile has a message or has a meaning. I think that's what makes the park so powerful. It means something to so many people that it just elevates the energy in a way that it's not easy to explain. You just feel it. I mean, I have people that come and say, "Oh my God, the park! I can't explain it. It just feels like weird or fun, and that really makes my day. I mean, that's the whole point. We have to, give a little of good energy to the world. We really need it."
Yeah, and pay attention to those tiles, because those are people that they love Vallarta.
Yes, they're locals, non-locals, visitors. Everyone, anyone can participate. So that's really fun. It's made of everyone.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right, you guys. The season is starting on November the 3rd, so come on down.
Yes,
and make your mark
November
in the
2nd
park.
because it's Dia de Muertos, and that's like very big here, and it's really cool.
Excellent.
Sí.
All right. Well, don't listen to me. Listen to Natasha.
Let's see.
Nat, thanks so much for talking to me today.
Barry,
I really
it's always
appreciate
good to see you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Year 3. Amazing. Make sure that you guys go to their Facebook page. Make sure you like it if you haven't already. Emily Murray has been doing a real wonderful job writing about the park in their blog. So make sure that you catch it. And make sure you like that page when you get a chance. And make sure that you like the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show page when you get a chance, too, if you haven't done that already. Make sure that when you do come to Puerto Vallarta, include Tile Park PV in your plans in paradise. And thanks again to Nat Moraga for all the great work that you're doing there. All right, now next, as I said, things are opening again, the markets along the bay and so forth. And so let's hear about some of that from our friend Gabino Sandoval. Gabino is the pull tab purse maker over on the Malecon. And if you don't know Gabino, I have a link in the show notes to the episode that we did with Gabino a couple years back. But let's go right now to the Malecon, where I caught Gabino and his wife. They were busily selling their purses and their hats. And, he's making palm frond hats, too. So anyway, let's go talk with our buddy Gabino Sandoval, the pull tab purse maker. All right. Gabino, thanks for talking with me today.
It's a pleasure.
So, a lot of new things are happening here. You're on the Malecon now. Are you going to stay on the Malecon, or what's going on? You got the farmers markets and stuff are opening, right?
Yeah, we're gonna start the 24th of October, and we're gonna be here also at the Malecon. This is second year here with the permit, and I'm very happy with this, with everything what is coming.
Okay, cool. Now you seem to be doing another thing. You have the pull tab purses, and you have some incredible new styles. I'm loving that. All the colors and stuff are looking great.
Yeah, I wanted to do new purses with the bottom of the soda cans. Yeah, that's something new that I don't have it right now.
Okay, so that's coming down the pike. So you're going to have soda can shaped purses.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, they look great. It's a surprise for all customers and friends and everybody.
All right, well, gear up, man. When you start making those, people are going to want a lot of those. So you're also doing hats. You're doing the hats out of the palm fronds, right?
Yeah, I used to do hats at the beginning when I started making the paper magazine purses, but we have the slow season. We have a lot of tourists when they finish the school, so I make for all June, July, but I keep doing it. So people they want it, so I keep making more with the iguana and top or all kind of animals.
All right, tell me the other animals. You got iguana and what else?
I make hummingbird, I make a parrot, I make a fish, angelfish, I make a frog also. And if the people want something else, I try to do it. Excellent.
Okay, so I'm going to take pictures of his new product, so you're going to see that in the show notes. So go to www.puertovallartatravelshow.com and you will see it, and I'll have pictures of the hats that he's making. They're very, very well done. And you also have something else going on. You have a hamburger stand, right?
Yeah, well, I started in May, and my daughter, she's there. She's a hard worker, and she loves it. And I told her how to make them, and she's making them even better than
better than Dad.
Better than Dad, yeah, yeah. She's doing okay.
Hey, good. So where is this place?
By the stadium, with the small places, the stands near to the stadium, the number 6. Yeah.
Okay, and what's it called?
And Spanish is tengo hambre. It means I'm hungry.
Excellent. All right. So I will have a map that'll take you to the front door of Tengo Hombre, or I am hungry. And go visit Gabino's daughter and see if she can satisfy your hunger, right, with one of those hamburgers.
Yeah, there are charbroiled hamburgers. Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Anything else new and interesting you want to tell us about?
Well, I have my house, my daughter's room finished, and I make new windows with the glass bottles. I will put some pictures. I don't have pictures still, but yeah, we have a new room.
Right. As you remember, now it was last Dia de los Muertos, almost a year ago, right, that this happened. So you finally got everything back together, and it's back to normal. So yeah, we'd love to see some pictures.
Yeah, I will post some pictures of the windows. I love the windows that I did it by myself. Yeah.
All right. Well, send me some pictures then. Hey, Gabino, thanks for talking with me today. It's really nice to see you again and see your lovely wife here and all the great new items you have. Really terrific.
It's a pleasure always. Thank you, Barry.
All right. Wow. Gabino really has his hands full, don't you think? Now, he's got some great designs, by the way, on his purses, on his bags, his belts. He's got some really cool new designs. He's using different colors, lots of different options. And so do your Christmas shopping for sure when you see Gabino. And it's already been a year since he had that fire at his house. Can't believe it. Anyway, I'll get you those pics of his completed home, including those windows, when he gets them to me, all right? Okay. Now, our next guest is a very interesting guy. He's known as Hedda Lettuce, and I'll let Hedda tell you about what he does in the upcoming conversation, but I was really fortunate to get this interview with Hedda. And it was all because of my friend Jamie Chamberlain, Jamie over at Black Dahlia Productions at Culture. He set me up with a whole bunch of interviews. I don't know if you remember that, but he set me up with these interviews in his studio. And one that I was surprised to hear was coming was Hedda, who actually has an office over at Culture and who is just about to open his 5th season over at Act 2 on the 7th of November. So I thought I'd get a little background on Hedda for you. And I want to encourage you all to go and see his show. All right, so let's go right now to Black Dahlia Studios, Jamie's place at Culture, and let's meet the very funny Hedda Lettuce. Hedda, thanks for coming on the show today.
What a pleasure.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Wow.
Tell me, what was your path that led you here to Puerto Vallarta?
Oh, a romantic evening, a dead drag queen, and a last wish. I was the last recommendation of a drag queen who died.
No way. Seriously?
Yes, the story is
Tell
this.
me.
So let's go flashback in time, like 7 years ago,
Okay.
6 years ago. I was working for Atlantis Cruise or RSVP, and I was a performer, and they had a layover here in Puerto Vallarta, and they had a one night, so we had a whole night to ourselves here, and then you can stay out as long as you want, go back in the boat when you feel, and the next day we'd leave. So they took all us queens in a bus, and they shipped us into the gay part of town, and I've never been here before in my life, never been to Mexico in my life. So there we were. I went to Paco's, and I was standing there, and I was 10 pounds thinner, so I looked a little better. And this beautiful boy looked at me from across the room, and I looked at him. He came up to me. He didn't speak English. I didn't speak Spanish, but yet somehow I was following him home. And I was warned not to do that. They always warn, but you know what? I throw care to the wind. And so we were walking through the town probably the same neighborhood I live in today, which I live close to here.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, what the hell is this town? These dogs, stray dogs running by, screaming babies, these buildings. I couldn't make anything out of it. And just the energy. And then he kept walking and walking. I thought, oh my God, this is it for me. And then we got to the building finally. Then we go into the building and we start walking upstairs. Everything is stairs here anyway. Flight up, and we went to the rooftop. Now we're on the rooftop. I thought, this is how I'm going to die. He's going to throw me off the roof. That's what I'm thinking. But there was a beautiful gazebo on the roof, and it was a full moon, and we made love on the roof for like 2 hours. This is the truth. And he didn't charge me, which was the most important thing in the world. That was like, I didn't get a bill afterwards because I heard that after the fact that, you know, money talks. So, but I'm like, oh my God. And then we went to a taco stand afterward, and I didn't get sick. And then he gave me his number, and then I kept in touch with him. Then let's flash forward 2 years later, and I put it in the but when I was walking around town during the day, I noticed posters for shows in town, and I saw some of my contemporaries here, and I thought, what is that? Why are they here? Why have I never been here? And I just put it in the back of my head. So after that magical, Harlequin romance experience on a rooftop with a gazebo with curtains and a beautiful Mexican boy, I was like, okay, let's see what happens. So 2 years later, or 3, I get an email from Danny Menini, who runs the Act 2 Theater. And he says, I've heard about you. Would you be interested in coming to Puerto Vallarta? This was 4 seasons ago.
Okay.
And I had it with New York in the winter. Oh, my God. I was done. So when I got here, they told me the story. There was this drag queen named Cashetta, who I knew from New York, who was working here. I never really liked her that much. She was okay. I thought she was just whatever. She wasn't anything fabulous or special. She did magic tricks. So she was working there at Act 2. Yeah. And she had a lot of issues. So what ended up happening was, through some strange circumstances, whatever, she died on the toilet here. Oh. Yeah, she passed away of drugs and just stuff. She'd like to party. She'd like to live life. She lived. And finally, it was too much living. And she died. But that day, that morning that she was still alive, Danny asked her, who would you like to bring to Puerto Vallarta? Who do you recommend? And she mentioned me. And I was shocked that, because I didn't really like her. And so I feel sort of like, it was a kind of a mixed bags of emotions. At one point I didn't like her, and secondly she recommended me. And then here I am. Yeah. So that happened. So that's what happened.
It's all her fault.
I blame Cashetta.
Wow. That is...
So...
Oh, my God.
Cashetta...
Hedda, that was a great story.
That's the story how I got here.
Wow. All right. Wow. Okay, so tell us about your act. I mean, obviously...
I'm a comedian and a singer.
Well, obviously a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I do a lot of audience improvisational work because I like talking to the audience, and I like, not in a nasty way. I like finding out. There's 2 questions I always ask, and then it always rolls from there. What is your name? Where are you? No, it's 3 questions actually. I can't count anymore. I've been in Mexico too long now. The tropical weather. What's your name? Where are you from? And what do you do for a living? And from there, it's just because the strangest things you find out with just those 3 questions. Yeah. And then the funniest things that come out of that. So I also write music. So I write original comedic songs, such as "You Can't Drink with a Dick in Your Mouth." This is for people who are trying to stop drinking a little bit after vacation. Your liver needs a break. Yes. The song. My show this year was called "Gringa in Paradise," and I had a title song called Gringa in Paradise, and Jesus Take the Wheel because I'm too drunk to drive. Stuff like that. Songs like that.
Any sample you can throw my way?
Well, let's see. Jesus Take the Wheel goes, Jesus take the wheel because I'm too drunk to drive. I drank too much tequila. My liver's barely alive. I hope your registration, Jesus, has been renewed. And don't forget your license, Savior, or we're really screwed. That's the basic gist of it. And you can't drink with a dick in your mouth is instead of picking up that vodka, how about picking up that copper? I did it once and it was gay. Why bother with a dirty martini? Try a plumber with a very large weenie. Think of all the money you'll save. And it goes from there.
I'm going to your show. This is hilarious.
Friday's my last one here in town. It's the closing
Oh,
season. This
really?
Friday, the 24th of... What month are we in?
We're in May,
And
yeah.
Gay Pride Week here in Puerto Vallarta.
Yay.
Yay.
So when do you come back? When
I come back. Well, I signed on for next
Did
season
you? Okay,
already.
good.
I
Oh,
come
wait,
back in
wait.
November.
It's breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. You
breaking
signed
news.
on.
Oh, I signed on. Yeah. Well, whatever their version of signing a contract here.
Right, yeah.
I signed on. Yes, back in November I'm one of the resident performers there, so I do a whole residency the entire season from November till Gay Pride weekend to the end of May.
Okay, then what do you go? You head back
And then
to
I
New
go
York?
back to New York City for a couple of months to work on Fire Island, where I do a similar thing where I entertain the masses there on
Right.
Fire Island.
And it's just not as... Although you were in New York, I was going to say not as hot and humid, but it's
Fire
it's
Island
like
is sticky,
that,
but it's
right?
nice out there because it's all water. It's similar to this. I honestly prefer being here. There's a lot. It's just very interesting to me. All of this. The fact that I ended up here doesn't make any sense. And then I bought a house here last
Really?
year also.
Oh.
And that didn't make any sense. And
Did you get yourself a good Mexican attorney to take care of that?
oh yeah,
for
that's
you?
all been taken care of. No one's knocking
All right.
on my door.
Excelente.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because the first house I tried to buy,
Yeah.
thank God I had a good Mexican attorney because it turned out the woman was like selling it to several people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And there was all it was like a Twilight Zone episode where there was all these gringos on the deed, and like you knew they were all ripped off one, but like because they would all come and stay with me. I would buy the house and fix it, and they go, oh, by the way, I own this also. So that did, but the house I got is really it's nice,
Wonderful.
So
yeah.
because it's got a couple of units. I'm going to be like the Mrs. Roper. That's my
Are you?
retirement plan.
Really? So you're going to be renting out? Is that the deal?
I'm gonna I'll be like Tales of the City, Mrs. Magical, and Mrs. Roper mixed together.
Yeah, I'll bring you a robe.
So that's yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think a robe optional. I don't.
Is it? Oh.
It's a new full completely a nude building. No,
nude-
imagine
a
I would
new
no,
build
a
of,
nude
her.
a nudist colony here. So yeah. That is what I did, and then the first season when I got here, also after I mean, a lot has happened in 4 years since
Yeah.
I've lived here.
I believe it.
The first season, I was chased down a highway and they stole my dog.
No,
Yes.
seriously?
Oh, seriously. That was a big deal
Oh,
here.
wow. It is a big deal.
Oh, I've never experienced anything like it in my life. I'm a fast runner, but they got me.
They got you.
They got me in
Wow.
a pickup truck.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And
so
I
that
still
was-
stayed.
That's
And I
traumatic.
stayed.
That's traumatic.
I did have to go to trauma therapy after that winter
No
when I
doubt.
went back that summer.
Yeah.
I did that EMDR therapy where they put the sounds in your ear.
Yes.
And it did help a bit.
It looks like it did.
But then yes, the next season though, stupid me, I said never let me get a dog again. I adopted another dog here.
Of course you did. Everybody around here does.
A Chihuahua
because-
named Lupe.
All right. Does Lupe run fast, or do you got to pick her up?
We got good legs.
Okay, good. I'm glad you.
I'm always looking over my shoulder now.
Okay, what other kinds of crazy stuff has happened? You said over 4 years.
Well,
stuff
I've been
has
here
happened.
the dog. Well, the thing is, like every
dog
year,
thing
every
that's hard.
season
That's
is different.
bad.
The first season was the dog theft,
Yeah.
and me staying, and that made like this international wave because it went all over the place.
I bet it did.
And the owner of the club said, "I know this is horrible, but that's the best publicity you can get in this town." I'm like, oh God, you are a show person, aren't you? Oh, that's it. It was like, oh God, you couldn't have played. So I was like, next year get a bird and have it stolen. At every year he was. So that happened, and I stayed because everyone was like, you got to come home, you got to. But bad things happen everywhere.
Yeah.
I live in New York City. I was
Oh.
born in New York City, so
Say no
so
more.
it's like, you know what I mean. It's not like I was born in Cabot's Cove riding bikes with Angela Lansbury, you know. But
Right.
she has a pretty dangerous life actually. But you know,
I could say.
and then so I stayed and finished off the season, and then I signed on again.
Yeah.
And I came
to
back.
everyone's surprise.
To my, everyone's like, "Wow, you're going back?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going back."
Going back.
And then I rented a house in the neighborhood right near the river. When you go right where Red Cabbage.
Yeah.
I rented over here.
Yeah.
And no one was really coming over. They started coming over here, but then. I was like, I found this 5,000 peso apartment with $1 million view, but it was, boy, what a, you know, the walls didn't go all the way up to the ceiling, and the plumbing was outdoors.
Yeah, you know, things
Somewhat.
happen like that. Yeah. Did you not check out the property before
I
you
did,
laid
but
down that 5,000
I am so
pesos?
crazy. Like I think of I just was like, I'll do it. And I just, and the crazy, the energy, the madness in the neighborhood, it was wonderful and weird. And I sat there the first night like, shaking. And then I ended up buying the house a couple of doors down from them because I ended up living there for a couple of years and getting to know everybody. And it's a great neighborhood.
Everybody loves you too.
They like me enough.
They think
don't
you're
know
a-
my secret identity.
Well,
a
I
lot of
hope-
them don't.
Well, keep it in the bag, man.
I do. I reveal, the great reveal.
Right,
When
exactly.
the moment comes. And then the last year was buying the house was last year. That was
Yeah.
the big thing for me. I never owned property before, especially in other countries. And of course, everyone said, "Why are you doing this?" And I said, "Well, I got nothing better to do with my life." And I never really think things 100% through.
Well, you are not alone, my friend. Take a look around. Everybody is buying houses around here.
This
so
this
I think
town
you
is
kind of-
booming.
I think you kind of hopped on
I
that.
got
at the
I got a
right
really
time.
good deal.
Yeah.
I got a deal of a lifetime. They
Good
said
deal.
it's on swampland. No, so and then this season was all about renovating. That whole life of renovating
Yeah.
and being a middle-aged showgirl, working several nights a week and renovating a home. And I'm a single mother with a dog.
Yeah.
So nobody, just me at home with the dog and that renovation and dealing with contractors. Boy, that's been interesting. I'll tell you.
I bet.
Oh, it's been fascinating.
Has it been?
Oh.
Now, is it like mañana, or what's it like?
Oh God! Sometimes it's oh God! It could be mañana. I wish they took blowjobs as payment. Some do, I hear, but I just
Haven't run into
this
that
one. I
yet,
haven't. But I like you to ask something, But I don't think it's uncommon anywhere. My electric box was exposed forever, and every time, once or twice a week, kids would go by and turn my electricity off, and I kept saying, "When is the box going to cover?" Oh, we got. I was in the dark. Thank God I'm not on oxygen, and my machine wasn't shut off.
No kidding. All right. That's amazing, though, that you actually lived and stayed in that lean-to up there.
And I didn't have a nervous breakdown. I had mini breakdowns.
Yeah.
I have had mini breakdowns.
Yes.
But I haven't had a complete, absolute meltdown.
Right. Well, that's probably a good thing.
Maybe I should.
Maybe for the
scream.
neighbors. Maybe something for the neighbors.
Oh, then they love a show.
They would.
Oh,
but
my God.
not in your getup. Let's talk about your getup when you put that. When you put
green,
it all in the bag.
Green.
Let's talk about
I
that.
get dressed at the theater, thankfully. I don't have to leave the home in drag
Right.
because I think I'd have a lot of dates if I left the home in drag. I get dressed at the theater. My character is Hedda Lettuce. That's with 2 D's and 2 T's. She's green from pretty much head to toe. Comedian, singer, light dancer. Light dancing. Just a movement.
Yes, right.
Just
Just
the
so
movement.
people know that you can sway.
That
so
I
to
can
speak.
my hips still work.
Yeah, excellent. So, all right. So look for the green guy, but you're probably not going to see the green guy until you walk into.
Yeah.
Now, where do you?
Well,
where
no,
do you
sometimes
perform?
you'll see me
You're over
at Act 2 Theater.
Okay.
My schedule next year is the same. Thursdays and Fridays at 9:30 p.m. And the matinee, I do a 5 o'clock matinee,
For
which
the
turned out to
kids?
be a hit.
Yeah.
for the 75-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those people who have poor night vision and their evening ends at 8 p.m. I'm the perfect option. Like, I want to see a drag show, but I want it at 5 p.m. When is anyone going to do that?
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I filled a gap that was necessary.
You were there.
I was there.
Thank
I was
God
there.
for
so,
you.
So I feel like I'm performing on a. I feel like this is my future. I'm going to be coming in a sequin walker one day, and my people, and we have a good time. The 5 o'clocks are sometimes the funniest shows of all.
Well, you're away from your deathbed, way away from your deathbed, so you haven't even had a chance to pick your replacement yet either. So that's going to be years and years and years. From
We
now.
hope. I hope. But considering, I
How's
hope.
your liver?
My liver's not bad, but I seem to every time, because we live in a tourist town.
Yeah.
The latest cold du jour that comes in, you get the theater, and then we all get it.
Right,
and so
right.
I'm like on and off. I'm going to change my name to Antibiotic.
That's something actually. You people that come here with runny noses and
Yes,
stuff like
tell
that.
them to stay
I mean,
home.
yeah, absolutely. You come here and you infect the natives. They don't know. They don't know what's coming.
I am a showgirl. I don't want syphilis.
Right.
It killed so many. No, really, no. We get this. You decide you want to have your vacation. You get on a plane with the flu. Don't do it. It's not nice.
Right, it's not nice.
It's not nice because everyone gets sick.
Yeah,
and
they
then,
all have the crud. You walk around here and
Yes, and then you can't. And between the construction and the crud, it's like I'm surprised I'm alive.
Well,
I really am.
I'm really glad that you are alive.
I am.
have to tell you that.
I have moments when I'm glad about that too.
All right, let's get out of Act 2. And
Sure,
let's
sure.
walk around the town.
Sure.
If you were going to go to your favorite breakfast place,
Oh, I know
where
where
would
to
you go?
There's 2.
All right. Oh, well, you can tell me 2 or 3.
I
It's
have
up to you.
tell you. Well, I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you 2.
Okay.
The first one is right on my block. They don't have it's called Luncheonette because that was the sign that was left there from the last one. Luncheonette. It's right. It's on the same block where Red Cabbage is, but when you walk down Lazarus Cardenas, you make a right before you cross the bridge, and you'll see it. It's like 5 tables, some tables. They are so sweet and lovely, and they just opened up a couple of months ago, and they do such a great job.
Ah, okay. What do you get when you go there?
I'm trying to watch my figure, but if I don't watch my figure, their specialty is waffles, and their waffles are phenomenal.
Really?
And they're just so.
How do you make a waffle so great?
They make it so great, and they're so fucking nice. They're like just nice people, and they're so professional. They do such a good job, and I just love seeing the energy in the neighborhood has changed since they've been there because they attract such a positive feeling. So when I leave the house, I just say my Spanish is awful, but it's the eyes that say everything. So, we just have a good time. They're just nice people. And then the other place I go to, which I love, I like Soko's Place. Soko's Place is right near Me Cafe, 1 block going towards the ocean, though, on the same side of the street, up 1 block up. Soko's Place opened up last year, and yet again, lovely people, friendly. They're happy to have your business. Unlike some people who surprised, and their food is really good, and they have some outdoor seating underneath this beautiful tree, and just the atmosphere of the restaurant. How it's very Mexican, it's very pretty, it's very put together in their own way, and I just find and they have great steak quesadillas, and for you gringos out there, they have a wonderful thing called they pander to us the American breakfast.
Ah, okay.
So they have that, which is a good deal.
Okay, all right. And I will have that on a map so that you guys can locate that.
Yeah, so I wonder if the Luncheonette will show up. You'll have to go. If you Google map it, you'll see you'll see it.
Yeah, because the sign's been there.
Yeah, the sign is already there. So they saved money by moving into a space that already had that.
Absolutely. These people think ahead.
Oh, boy, do they ever. Do they ever.
So let's talk about lunch. Where would you go for lunch around here?
Lunch. You know where lunch, okay, I also used to love, and I still do love. It's not like a love affair that's on the rocks. It's still there, but I don't go as often because you have to play a little hard to get sometimes. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they take you for granted. I do go to Me Cafe still. I do enjoy it. They have a good product. They have a nice space, and it's just so I will go there. I'm pretty much like a local boy. I stay in my neighborhood, but when I do venture out, there's another restaurant I go to which I like, Agrodolce. Which is on Basia Badillo, which is close to the theater. They make excellent... I'm in Mexico, I'm eating pizza. They make excellent pizza. Okay. It's this flatbread pizza that's just really good. It's not like Mia Mia that's going to give you a cardiac arrest right after you finish the pizza.
Right.
But it's just good and it's fresh. And I like the people there enough. I like the management enough. I think he's slightly autistic.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
I don't know. There's something about
he's
kind of happy. He's nervous. I can tell he's like a nervous person. He wants the business to do well, so he carries that energy with him. I just want to tell him to relax. I want to just go up to him and go pull my finger. Just something to make him relax. Just relax. Just relax. Yeah. It's okay. But they do a pretty good job on a whole. They do I like it. I like it.
Okay.
So I go there as well.
Okay.
I'm not a huge foodie. I'm not that kind of person. I eat on the fly like a New Yorker. I don't like...
but the things that you like, I'm really digging this because you like the littler places.
I like little places.
You like the littler places, so this is good.
I do like little places.
This is what my listeners like to hear.
I like little places. I like these little things, these strange little places. It's funny. I guess I'm a needy person. If you make me feel welcome, I will be there. I even if not to say if the food is garbage, but I'm just like if you're nice, that goes a long way with me.
Yes, love goes a long way.
It does.
It does.
That's what. Yeah. So those are the places that stand. I'm not a huge taco person, so I rarely will eat off a taco stand.
Right.
I won't. I don't like open air meat. Don't like it in New York. Don't like it anywhere. Don't like exhaust fumes on my meat, so I won't usually do that.
You told me about your first time here. And
I did
air meat.
that because he took me twice.
Never mind.
But there was open air meat on the roof.
Right.
You're right. Oh my god! Pow! We got it still. We do. Comedy. No, but so and then usually my night will end. I like good the salt. the best bargain in town, though, is, and I don't like to promote chain places at all, but if you want you walk down the Malecon, you go to McDonald's, and you get yourself a 22 peso sundae with hot fudge, because no one has hot fudge in this town. You get 22 pesos, you get vanilla soft serve ice cream with hot fudge on it for 22 pesos, and that ends your night perfectly. I swear that's the best thing. And you get the exercise, so you feel like you're not eating it. So you walk down to the Malecon, you see the sights, you get your 22 peso ice cream. Because the other thing they do here, which is they put that chocolate sauce on top, but it turns hard. And I hate that. Yeah. They have real hot fudge at McDonald's.
All right.
At the end of the Malecon.
Who knew?
22 pesos.
Who frickin' knew?
22. That is the bargain.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
The bargain.
You have to walk to the end of the Malecon, but...
Hey, no, the sights you see on the way there...
Yeah.
It's worth that 22 pesos.
Exactly right.
It's the best thing. It's the best thing.
All right. Dessert on the Malecon.
Dessert. That's my dessert. That's my dessert on the Malecon. Is waiting online outside with all the kids.
It is kind of cute. All right, so we won't go there right now. So, if you were going to leave town for a day, where would you go?
I would go to San Sebastian.
You would?
Yes.
What do you like when you go there?
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah?
It's like a Clint Eastwood movie. It's like a one horse town. It's got this western quality, and the climate is very different. So the moment you go there, it's cooler. It's not as humid, and it's and I have friends there. It's funny. Now that I've lived here for long enough I have friends in a lot of places, and my friend owns a ranch there with horses and stuff like that, so I get to ride horses while I'm there. And they have really first-class restaurants in San Sebastian besides that, and a lot of people are going there, but I find it so different. And it's only like 800 people in the town that live there, and it's just such a wild experience. I'm fine. Because I guess coming from a big city, these small places really do, I find them very charming.
Yeah.
So I will go to San Sebastian just because I have friends there, and I just think it's such an interesting, weird place.
Yeah, you make a day trip out of it.
Yeah, and it's only an hour and a half away from here on the bus.
Yeah.
That's it, and it's a complete different world.
Wait a minute, you take the bus when you go there?
No, I have never taken it.
All right,
I have friends who pick me up, but I wanted to pretend I was a queen of the people, and say I take the bus.
He's honest. He's an honest queen.
I'm an honest queen. I've been to I performed in Ajijic also, and they said you could take the bus, but I didn't do that either.
No. Don't.
I took the plane.
Don't.
I didn't take that 6-hour bus, even though everyone tries to tell you, the bus is wonderful, it's state of the art, the seats are so comfortable, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. It's 6 hours on a bus.
That's right. And in a green suit.
I don't want to do that.
No, you don't want that.
No, none of that. So I will go to San Sebastian.
Okay. How about for 3 days? If you're going to cut out of town for like a long weekend, where would you go?
I would go to Guadalajara.
You would? Where would you go when you go to Guadalajara? What do you like about that place?
I like the fact that it's a city, because I need something different.
Yeah.
I need to catch up with a little bit, just have a little bit more of a hustle and bustle. And
so big city life.
Yeah, I like that. I like Guadalajara. I just stay at various hotels, and I have friends who live there, moved there. But I enjoy just roaming around. The last place I stayed at, the courtyard looked out to all the street hookers, and I liked watching them. The cars come up.
Yeah.
Oh, they could fuck on a full stomach, because there was a taco stand right there. They'd be eating a fucking taco, or a couple of them. Then John would come, and they'd jump in the car. I'm like, wow, I can't fuck on a full stomach.
No.
They were professionals.
That's professional. Well, but you don't know what happened in that car afterwards. I mean,
what do they talk? What do they talk about? Art, literature?
No, I mean gas.
Oh, maybe they're into that.
Maybe. You never know.
That's a specialty act. So I like Guadalajara. My next thing, I want to go to Mexico City.
Do you? Okay. Never been?
No, I've never been.
It's beautiful.
I want to go to Mexico City.
You will.
That's where I want to go.
Mexico City.
So that's what I would do if I have a few more extra days. I would go there. I actually like Ajijic too, in a strange fucking way. That place. Oh my god.
There's old people there.
Oh my god, everything's so slow, because it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I know. I love all the murals there. Everything is murals everywhere.
Really?
Painting everything. I could see myself ending up in Ajijic.
In Ajijic. Okay.
Though I hear the lake is toxic.
Yeah, there's nothing going on in that lake.
But that lake is beautiful. But I hear it's toxic.
No fishing.
No, I hear it's toxic.
Yeah, I know. It is.
It's
true.
horrible.
It is horrible.
It's such a beautiful body of water.
Don't get in.
Damn.
I know. I don't think it was a dam, though.
No. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's wonderful. So, what kind of advice would you give to a first-time visitor that's coming to Puerto Vallarta?
Okay, my biggest piece of advice is when you get off the plane and you're in the airport here at Puerto Vallarta, do not make eye contact with anyone as you're leaving the plane. As you're walking down the strip and do not make keep your head down, because the next thing will end up happening is you'll wake up 3 days later coming out of a blackout with a donkey laying next to you with a cigarette hanging out of its mouth and your fucking name on a timeshare. Do not make eye contact. Do not take the shot of tequila, even no matter how thick it, they'll keep you there. Those timeshare people will steal your soul. Do not make eye contact with. Just leave. Just get out. Just go. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. That's my first piece of advice when you get there.
God, that's great advice.
And it's the best.
It's the only advice they need.
Right,
really,
right. You need, and then the rest just go with the flow. But that is the most important, because people have been stuck there for hours with those hours. You get off the plane, you're tired. You want to party. They're offering you tequila. You think, woo, wow, they're so generous here. No, they want to fucking steal your soul.
Yes, they do.
So don't do it. Don't make eye contact. Keep going. If they say, do you need a ride? I have everything. Please leave me alone. Wear a burqa. I don't care. Would you just wear horse blinds on the side of your head?
Yes. Excellent.
That's my
excellent advice.
That's my advice.
All right. You have any advice for gay men that are coming to Puerto Vallarta?
Oh, yes.
All right. Let's hear about it, man.
The advice for the gay men is this. If you're a gay man of a certain age and you meet a young Mexican boy, he most likely doesn't like you for you. You will be surprised when you receive the itemized bill after you have sex with him. Another important thing to remember, my homosexual friends, is if you're drinking heavily on the beach and you do bring a man home, I had this man on the beach say to me, Hedda, I went home with this guy and I don't think we had sex. I was drinking and 5,000 pesos was missing. I said, oh, that's an interesting story. And then the next night, I went out, and I think I may have blown him, the next guy I met, but 4,000 pesos was missing. I said, did you learn anything from this? You just when you bring strangers home, just hide your belongings.
Yeah.
Just be careful, because there's people looking for everything. Whatever. But I should have a pamphlet of things, of the gays, do's, and don'ts in this town. Absolutely. Gays, do's, because you have to be because it's everyone wants to make money. You got to make money, and the tourists come in. I sympathize with because I'm basically this, in a sense. I'm hawking my wares in this town. Mm-hmm. Right. And if I could roll you for 4,000 pesos and not even have to put out and take, I would do it too. So just realize that when you're on Grindr, 90% of those boys are working for a living.
Yeah, exactly right.
So bring your money and support the arts. I say that's what you do. Support they really, yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, and also go see drag shows. Support the drag arts. Come see the best drag entertainment in the world comes here now. That's what's the beautiful thing about Puerto Vallarta now. It has become an entertainment hub more so. In even the years I've been here, more and more big name entertainers, great quality entertainment. I mean, the place I work at has, in the cabaret room, has so many amazing, talented people working there. That and the Palm has great people. The Red Act 2, it's just there's a lot going. There used to only be like 2 shows in town, and one was the donkey that fucked you with the timeshare. Really, there used to be like only 2 fucking shows in town at one point. Yeah. Kim Kuzma and the donkey.
Oh wow! I hope Kim doesn't hear that.
I hope she does. I'm friends with Kim.
We love Kim.
I know everyone in this town.
Everybody loves Kim.
I know her from a gunkwit.
What about the donkey? Is the donkey still around?
The donkey's been missing. Didn't you see the posters on the street?
Somebody chased him down and stole them. It didn't go international, though. Nothing like your dog.
Nothing like my dog Romeo was the dog's name.
That's
Romeo.
so sad, right? Or
it's I never. I found out who stole it, but I couldn't get it back. Still,
Romeo's still alive?
We don't know.
All right. Is there something else? Did I miss anything? Do we need to cover anything else before we say goodbye today?
I just will say this to people. We have this. People are always worried about going to Mexico, going to places, and I happen to think Puerto Vallarta, especially for the gay community, at least right now, is a great place to be. If they call it like the San Francisco of Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, for gay people, because in terms of the Mexico, this is a really open-minded place to live and experiment and just have fun and just be yourself. And you just have to be mindful like any place else you go. So don't be afraid. Get off the couch. Come to Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, look at you. He's like an ad. Hedda, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm sure my audience is going to love this. And I really want to thank you for letting me introduce you to my listeners.
Oh, I'm so glad I came and did this. It was a pleasure. This was great. Thank you so much.
Thank
it was
you so
lovely.
much.
Thank you.
Wow, I love that guy. And you guys will too. Listen, get over there, go to Act 2, go to their website, reserve the date to see the show. And I have pictures and links and all that great stuff to all the fun in the show notes, all right? All right, that should do it for today, don't you think? We've met a lot of people. All right, next week, stay tuned for more on the ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant and excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and send us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so just do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. So once again, if you like this podcast, please take time and subscribe and give me a good review, if you would, on whatever platform you happen to listen to podcasts on. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. So if you haven't been to my website, you need to go there. Have a look. I have links to the places we talk about. I have interesting pictures and more right there in the show notes and in the blog post for each episode that I create. So go there for sure, okay? All right. Thank you, Gabino Sandoval, for filling us in on what's going on with you and with the markets and all that stuff. Make sure that you do your holiday shopping with Gabino when you see him. Thank you, Nat Moraga. Thanks very much for talking to us about Tile Park PV. You guys make sure that you get your hands dirty this year in the park. Make sure to leave your mark in the park. And I especially want to thank Hedda Lettuce. Hedda, thanks for coming on the show. Make sure you guys see this show over at Act 2. It's a riot. I have links to reserve your show date right there. At least as soon as you can, get on over there, all right? And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for all of you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino interno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta.